I'm a Hebrew Israelite, sent or called by Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua to help chant down Babylon, aka America. First off, I want to face the east and give all praise, honor, and glories to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushua, Bahasham, God Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles and bishops of Great Millstone, but beginning with Abba Bivens, who came last century back in the 1960s, who before he went to the spirit world, passed the torch to Elder High Priest Yaquab, King Masha, and Elder High Priest Ariyah. Then from there would spawn Elder Apostle Tahar and the rest of the men of GMS. I'm gonna get right into it, man. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. Talking about the mark of the beast, because we're in those times. We're approaching those times very, very fast. Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So what's he doing, giving life to the image of the beast? That's modern day your AI. You know? Now people are taking crap, like people are taking counsel, getting counseled by pt1 and all that shit. You know, now they're trying to transition everybody from a physical doctor's office to just going to pt1 or going to an online portal where you can talk to a fucking AI computer and figure out how to fucking get answers for your health issues. Reading on, it says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So, you know, he's going to create, so-called white man Edomites are going to create a scenario where they're going to put people in a position where that's why it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. That means that's going to be a manufactured, a fucked up situation where a lot of casualties are going to occur. This isn't health information, but a lot of casualties might occur, and he's going to be able to put everyone in a position to have to try to get the mark. And that also shows when he says he causes it all, meaning like it's going to be a global thing. So that shows that he too will also have cooperation from the other heathen nations. There's 18 nations in total. The nation of Israel, which is the people on this sign, are the number one chosen nation, and then the other 17 heathen nations, they're just that. They're heathens. And this isn't a kingdom, this is a heathendom. You know? 17 heathen nations, beginning with the so-called white man, the Edomites, run this world because the Lord is punishing us because we violated him. We disrespected him. So now he took us and put us very low and set all the heathens up above where they should be, with the Edomites being at the top of it all. But yeah, reading on. Well, like I said, yeah, he's going to cause a situation showing that, which also goes into Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Let me get that real quick. And this ties in with what I just read in Revelations 13, verse 16. A song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God, Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. So all these other heathen nations, they come together and they take crafty counsel against the people of the Lord, because the Lord he can't come down here because the Most High himself is too perfect, and if he came down here, everything would just evaporate pretty much, because everything out here is cloaked in, is just coated in sin. And the Most High is perfect, he is sinless. So the next best thing that the heathens can attack is his people, and the planet too. You know? They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So, and they do that everywhere, all over the world, but specifically here in America, they do it. It's very obvious where the so-called Native Americans, the so-called, Latinos, beginning with the so-called Puerto Ricans and the so-called Negroes. So-called Negroes live in the projects in the hood. So-called Latinos, beginning with Puerto Ricans, they live in the barrios. And the so-called Native Americans, they live in the reservations. And all three of them have one thing in common. The white man, so-called white man, owns all the banks, so they can control the power of who gets what, who gets the homes, and who doesn't. The grocery stores and the convenience stores and the gas stations are owned by the Arabs and the so-called East Indians. Then you got so-called Chinese and Japanese that own the restaurants where they serve all that nasty ass abominable food. And the so-called Negroes, the so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans, they don't own shit. But at the same time, the so-called white man will dump off a train car or a tractor trailer full of guns and drugs and just pump them into those communities, pump them in there, pump them in there, pump them in there. And then when people go in there, then they take those guns and they look at it as a way out to get money and all those drugs and stuff, then they start killing each other. And then Esau is right there with the camera, filming it all, taking pride in his crafty work and exploiting to the world how his crafty counsel is having good effects on his target, which is the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans on this sign. They do it every day. And they do the same thing everywhere. Especially like over there in Gaza too. Netanyahu is claiming that Gaza's got all those weapons of mass destruction, right? But then now they're over there filming them, showing them starving like Marvin, And then Netanyahu saying casually, oh, now I think we're ready to take over the Gaza Strip because there was no weapons. Because all the people that are showing starving on TV now are women and children primarily. They have taken crafty. They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. So because they're confederate against the children of the Lord, they all are on one accord, even though they argue and bicker with each other over certain resources when they're trying to split the split the pie amongst themselves, and Esau gets the bulk of the pie. But ultimately, all the other 17 heathen nations, they hate the people on this sign, and it shows in so many ways, And some of us, we, like our celebrities try to go shoot for the white man's, crumbs and shit. But read the whole chapter, or the whole book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12. Where it's basically saying, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so does his wickedness. Roughly paraphrasing. And here are some of the people that have taken crafty counsel. The tabernacles of Edom, which is the so-called white man, and the Ishmaelites, which are the so-called Arabs, of Moab, which is the so-called Chinese. They're taking crafty counsel. And they devise ways every single day to jack us up. All right. Back to our Revelations. It's going to be Revelations 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast. Oh, what is the mark? The mark is the C-hip, the RFID chip. I'm sorry, forgive me for that. If you can Google videos of RFK Jr. talking about he wants people to have on wearable RFID devices within the next 4 years. So by mid 2029 or 2030, he wants everyone to be wearing either a wearable, like either a necklace style or bracelet style around people's arm and hand, where people can be traced. And at some point, the ultimate, but that's not the mark of the beast per se, but that's the road leading to it, because the mark is going to have to go underneath the skin. It's under skin surveillance. So they take a syringe and put it inside, inject it underneath the flesh. Anywhere that a person takes it underneath the flesh, that's the mark of the beast, and that's not good. But reading on Revelation 14, verses 9 to 11. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High Yahweh, which is poured without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. The Lamb being who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, whose name is Yahushua, which also shows that God and his only begotten Son are two separate entities. They're not the same person. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Because another thing too, those technological devices, they're going to cause sores wherever the site is where they were implanted. They're going to cause cancerous sores, because that's radiation constantly being emitted into the body, because that's what pretty much powers those little devices. And when it's inside when it's around and surrounded by organic flesh, it's going to affect the organic flesh in a negative way. So it's not going to be good for those who take the mark. Lord willing, I'm not one of them. Okay, this is going to be Revelation chapter 19, verse 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him. And who's that false prophet? It's mainly the so-called white man who was out here marketing that AI technology being the savior of people, on an individual level, saying like this can solve all your problems. Woody Woo, Elon Musk's ass has already got trials. He had one down there in Miami last year, and then he had one here in Arizona, down in Phoenix this year, talking about he had a successful trial run with putting a chip inside of a quadriplegic. A quadriplegic meaning someone who was paralyzed from the neck down, saying that it successfully can have him. It's linked to his brain, where it can successfully have him. If he's thinking about where he wants the mouse to go on the screen of his phone, he can think it, and then successfully go where the mouse go where he wants it to go on his phone, which is bullshit. But they got it's a sales pitch. So the so-called white man is the false prophet who's wrought the miracles. He's the false prophet that is wrought in these miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. So first, that's why he's using quadriplegics and stuff to try to perpetrate as if what he's doing or those devices are good for the human body, better than the way that the Lord made the human body himself. There were other examples of him doing this, via with jizz abs. Why do we need a jizz ab when the Lord gave us an immune system to fight off, to ward off any diseases or any pathogens that we find attacking our bodies? That also leads to the other scripture that says, they shall say to themselves, they are God. The Most High wears a white garment on the spiritual body that sits up there on the throne, and so does the Son, and so do the angels. Now, when Esau gets his fucking lab on, when he gets his chemistry set out and starts trying to get his little lab rat on, what does he do? He puts on a white lab coat, because he's trying to take the seat of God. And so he's trying to do things he's trying to supplement his devices and his works in place of our God-given immune system. Our naturally God-given defense to ward off the pathogens here that roam this earth with us as we live on it. So, and he's doing it with the jizz ab, and now he's trying to do it as well with the C-hip. For those of you that know, I can't say it because there's monetization. But if you want to watch Goodbye Uncle Tom, they don't even ask you if you're 18 years old. If you want to watch little girls twerk on twerk compilations, they don't ask you if you're 18 years old. But if I talk about the C-hip, I got a bit of a problem here. There's going to be a little bit of pushback. But moving on, that's the devil for you. He doesn't like being told on the truth. Like the Spirit said through Elder Malcolm over there in Chicago, in a world, in a heathendom, which is a kingdom ran by heathens, in a heathendom where their whole structure was forged and built on lies. The truth is the worst thing that can come out. And that's why they'll cut off videos. They'll do all manner. They'll anything pertaining to the truth. They'll cut it off. They'll ban the video. The persecutions just come left and right, over and over again. You know, try to strike my videos and then make you take a goofy ass class and stuff. Like, what the fuck? Telling the truth? I can't even talk about, you know, chlorophyll or nothing like that because it's not, you know, I don't know why. Maybe I'm not, you know, I just like chlorophyll, you know. A lot of greens have chlorophyll in there. All right, this is Revelation 20, verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai, and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither have received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yahweh Shai 1,000 years. So there's going to be some people that were slated. The majority of the population on the globe are slated to take the sea hip, but the elect of the nation of Israel, which is the most important portion of the nation of Israel right now. I mean, the 2/3 are important too because they are Israelites and they are of the elect nation. But right now, it's about the elect of the nation of Israel, and that's the house of David, the first fruits. Those are the ones who are going to be saved right now from the Most High when He sends His Son. And they were already predestined and predetermined before the foundation of the earth. So I only hope that I'm of that elk. I don't know. There's no guarantee. All I know is I've been called. Hopefully I am of the chosen, but I don't know in time. All right, this is Revelation 22 and 14. Blessed are they that do His commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and that's the kingdom of heaven, and may enter through the gates into the city. And that's once again talking about the elect. Now, like I said, even though 2/3 of the nation of Israel, 2/3 of the people on this side are going to perish as a part of their judgment, they are of the elect nation. So, they are of the elect in the sense of being an Israelite. But right now, the most important focus that the Most High has is the elect of the elect, which is the house of David, the first fruits, the one who were created by the Most High via His Son Yahweh Shai before the foundation of the earth. And which is the 144,000, our King David, who was here last century, and he went back up to the spirit world, I believe, in 99. If I'm wrong, please forgive me, Lord. But Malak Mashal, for those of you who can receive it, I've been fortunate enough to receive that and believe it. I've been given that gift of faith. He was just with us, and he passed somewhere in the late 90s last century. But he was here for a spell. But King David, the 144,000, which are the 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes, and the innumerable multitude. That's who the Lord's coming to save. Now, the 2/3 of Israel who are going to die out here in the kingdom of heaven, when it gets established here on earth, they will come back through the loins of the elect men of the nation of Israel, and they will come back as babies, and then they will be raised with the law, statutes, commandments, and they will be born in a sinless body. It'll be totally righteous, so they'll never go off again. And Esau is going to be trying to rub these false miracles, to try to trick the people into thinking that what he's offering is going to be very good and so much more beneficial for themselves than just having, the natural immune system that the body was given by the Most High. This is going to be Ecclesiasticus chapter 12. I spoke on it, so. This is in regards to Esau Edom and how he does and what the Most High said. Because you got to remember, they're trying to do something. Elder Malcolm up there in Chicago is got a channel called Critical Race Historical Facts, where he's showing how they're trying to erase the true history because it's shameful. When people learn the history of how these Edomites have acquired their wealth they've caught it through bloodshed, murder, deception, and it's shameful. But they don't care. They're not shamed about it. They just want to hide it because there's a big world out there, and they got more victims out there to get. And then, you know, now we're in the internet age. They don't want their victims to be able to get the rap sheet on these heathens, on the Edomites, before the Edomites get over there and then get their hands on them and get to working them. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verses 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Now, the way America was started was through bloodshed. Esau came and saw the so-called Native American Indians and the Seminole Indians and the so-called Mexicans, and the way that they were living, they configured an environment that was so righteous that they didn't need weapons of war. You know, just weapons for hunting, you know, bison or elk or something if they want to get like some fur for the winter time for them and their families. But Christopher Columbus came over here, and the first thing he started doing was murdering and enslaving. You know, these are the same people. This is that same country. You know, verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Because, you know, he's trying to come now with this, hi, how are you? You know, it's all good. It's great. You know, you'll be able to detect things in the comfort of your own home, where you don't have to keep rushing to the hospital. And then we can get you all fixed and buttoned up before you know it. He's going crouching. He's not only in your face like, you better check it, he's getting ready to. So, Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verses 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. So basically, it's not all wiped away, meaning there's always some form of mischief in his head. He's always thinking some diabolical scheme that's going to hurt somebody and profit him. He's never satisfied, neither keepeth at home. You know, the Lord gave them Edomites a home, and that's Mount Seir, and they don't want to stay over there. You know, they're everywhere else, all over the world, taking over continents. They don't want to stay at home. Because Mount Seir is a dry place. It's a dry land over there. Now it says, sit not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. And they do that now. How you figure? They called them 1948ers, the Jewish people, the ones that call themselves Jewish. Okay. Okay, Ecclesiasticus 12 and 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, which is they did overthrow us in the diaspora. All right, back in, I believe it was 70 AD. If I'm wrong, please forgive me. But look up the diaspora of the Israelites, and it'll tell you on Google. When he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. And they started doing it last century in 1948 with the whole Balfour Declaration that was from Arthur Balfour to the Rothschilds. And ever since then, they've been, and the very first night that the state of Israel got established over there, they've been at war with those Palestinians over there, which are the East Indians and Elamites. Or East Indians are Elamites, but there's some Arabs over there too, which are the Ishmaelites. They've been fighting ever since. It's May 14th, I believe. Okay, Ecclesiasticus 12 and 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. So he's warning us, like, man, if you buddy, man, don't listen to these motherfuckers, because if they can find it, because they plotting to find a way to stick it to you and take your stuff. And if they can succeed, if you hang around them long enough with your guard down, they gonna do it. Verse 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with the serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast? You know? See people get attacked by zoos or attacked over there in Yellowstone because they're walking right beside a giant buffalo. Why would I feel bad for them? You know? With the history that these Edomites have here in America, why would I want to be rubbing elbows and shoulders with Edomites? Because the whole time, say I do that, the whole time I'm doing it, they're plotting to find some way to stick it to me and through me. And then throw me out the way and then take all my stuff. It's happened to me plenty of times, okay? Verse 14. So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? And Esau is nothing but sin incarnate. They got many titles. One of them is the wicked. So they're nothing but sin incarnate, because the Most High ain't dealing with them on a righteous level. He doesn't like them. But you know, we're in captivity, so you have to get the bare necessities. I'm not saying don't work at all and just fucking go home. No. I mean, just, you know, get the bare necessities, but, you know, don't be trying to rub elbows, you know. Careful. Just ask the Spirit of the Lord to help navigate you through this life. That's the best bet. That's what I do. For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. And that's what they've done. That's what they were doing when they had us in captivity before 1865, for the Emancipation Proclamation. But now they've gotten so good at it to where they got everyone out here, Israelites and heathens alike, all in having some total subjugation and captivity through a myriad of contracts. As I learned through Elder Apostle Gabar, you know, with the birth certificate being one contract of slavery, contractual slavery. That's why every time I go on YouTube now, there's people of all the nations, not just Israelites, but the other nations too, even other Edomites who are complaining about the harsh qualities of life that they now find themselves in. Israelites, on average, we're used to it. You know, we've been living like that. But the Edomites and the other heathen nations are starting to feel the squeeze of them trying to bring about their new world order, the N to the W to the Wiz. Oh boy, you know, this is not medical information. And now they're feeling it. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. So he not only will kill you, he'll take all your resources and say he came up with it, he built it, he devised it. This was his way of life and his code of ethics, knowing that he just killed your ass and it was yours. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. Let's listen to that one again. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. Now, every time there's some shit going down here in Babylon or around the world where there's adversity of some kind, who's always there with the camera and the journalists? Edomites. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. And that's what he did. Like out here in the barrios and in the reservations and in the hood, you know, we ain't got no healthy food, no healthy water, no healthy outlets, but we got drugs and dope and guns and all the other heathens that run the grocery stores, the convenience stores, the gas stations. Edomites run the banks. You know, they distribute the food to the hoods. The Asian, so-called Chinese and Japanese, they own the restaurants. But then the Edomites will dump off the train cars and the tractor trailers full of guns and dope. And as soon as the adversity, as soon as some people take those drugs and those guns and put them back in their hood, and then they start manifesting adversity, who is always there first? The Edomites. Because they're the ones who put that there because they want us to die. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. So that's what they do. This is reading it right here. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 17. if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. He was undermined the whole time. And it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. The abortion clinics, Margaret Sanger, that was undermining them. And then every time, you know, when the numbers get big, here he comes with his cameraman and journalists and his fucking statistics. You know, the black women, the worst place for a so-called Negro child, a Judite child, is in the womb of a Judite woman. Because through Esau's crafty counsel, he has found a way to really shrink the numbers of the tribe of everyone on this sign, but the Judite is the head tribe of the nation, and our Lord Yahushua came, who the world anyway called Jesus Christ, came from the tribe of Judah. And the same, but you know, and so the abortion is how they catching mainly the Judite people, men, women, and children. But Esau has taken crafty counsel. Remember Psalms the 83rd chapter. The heathens have taken crafty counsel and have targeted all 12 tribes on this sign of the Lord's people. So you know we're in bad case and we need the Lord. I speak first and foremost for myself. I needed him yesterday. Okay, so I hope y'all were enlightened. As was I. So the Spirit led this talk. I didn't know I was going to talk about this, but it actually, I learned some things while, you know, relying on the Spirit of the Lord. I'm going to give you the channels of my elders that I watch, where they can cover any topic in any past and present event, and they can filter it through the Old Testament, the Apocrypha, as well as the New Testament. This is beginning with Elder Apostle Tahar. What is the 666 Mark II? GMS Truth. Daily Edification 4 with Elder Apostle Gabar. GMS Info Channel 12 is Elder Apostle Ramlab. GMS Apostle Street Ministry. That's done by Elder Apostle. It's done by Elder Apostle Tahar, Elder Apostle Gabar, and Elder Bishop Shalawam on Saturdays, Lord permitting. You got Jacob Barak 1 and 2. You got Jacob Barak just by itself, and then you got Jacob Barak 2. That's done by the same brothers, one of the elder bishops up north, around the New York, Connecticut area. You got Fire Cures Leprosy. That's the elder bishop up north. You got Apostles Live, Apostles Live GMS 34th. That's done by Elder Apostle Gabar and Bishop Sakaran, Lord willing, whenever the Lord moves them to do so. Primarily on Tuesdays. GMS Keep Pushing On. That's Elder Apostle Bakar.